Okay, we're live. All right. Welcome to the governing board meeting of the Mount Diablo Unified School District. It is 4:15 p.m. on October 27th, 2021. Call this meeting to order, and we'll start with roll call. Vice President Mason.
Here.
Trustee Mayo.
Here.
I am also present, and I believe our other two board members are on their way. So we will begin tonight with public comment. The public may address the board concerning items that are scheduled for discussion during closed session only. Comments on closed session are also received by email to boardcomments@mdusd.org. How many speakers do we have? Okay, so we have 9 speakers. So if we could limit our comments to 2 minutes, that would be really helpful for us this evening to be able to get over to closed session. All right, so we'll begin with Dan Harper and then Annie.
Can you turn it? Is it on?
Try it again.
Hello? Check. Okay. Hello, board members. Good to see you all again. My name is Dan Harper, as you all probably know. We've been up here a number of times over the last couple of months. I'm the staff negotiator with the CST unit. And as you also know, we've been in negotiations since the end of June. We've bargained 7 times. We go back to the table again on November 8th. A number of our brothers and sisters up here, siblings, will be going back to the table sooner than that. But as you know, the salary proposals that are on the table are grossly inadequate. 0%, there's been no raise for the last 5 years. And there's 2% in the second year, 2% off schedule in the first year. It's just not cutting it. So we know the FCMAC report shows that the numbers from the CBO and that you all have been receiving are inaccurate, off by as much as $52 million. And so we hope you'll be listening to some of the information that we have to offer you. We also know that you've met with California School Services. And so we hope that you're receptive to what they're saying and where there is money ongoing in the budget for our salaries. And just to give you a sense, I know I've said this before, but I'm going to keep hammering on it, is, our membership is going through major hardships right now. A lot of our members, newer members, are, getting jobs in other districts that pay more. Others are moving in with their parents. Others are doubling up in housing conditions that are probably, questionably legal because they don't make enough money to get by. In closing, I would just like to say that I stand in solidarity with our brothers in Medea, the Teamsters, CSEA, and Medespa. And thank you for your time. Good night.
Thank you very much, Dan. We'll have Annie, followed by Dan Reynolds.
Yes, to everything he said. But the problem is, for me, the district got $1.9 million just for my people, instructional assistants and IAs. And yeah, I get it. It's for a year. And they're still hiring people for 16 hours a week in this. My people are worn out. I'm getting ready to get some paperwork from workers' comp. I have had more injuries this year than I've ever had, and they're serious injuries. Of the people you've hired in my unit, at least 11 have already quit. So my people are burnt out, worn out. And yes, we do need a raise, and we think you have the money, and you need to listen to whoever's telling you. I don't know, bring in somebody else that knows more than what our physical department knows. I stand behind Teamsters, Medespa, Medea, CST.
Thank you. Dan Reynolds, followed by Carmen Torone-Store.
Good evening, board. In February and March of 2020, the board made budget cuts to pay for a 5.5% increase for our educators. Then, fearing a COVID recession, and after waiting 5 months to hold a vote on the tentative agreement that had been reached in December of 2019, the board voted down that raise. There was no COVID recession in education in California. In 2021, the LCFF funding stayed flat. Then the state and federal governments approved $109 million in one-time COVID funds. Then this year, the state increased the LCFF with a 5.05% COLA. You made cuts to pay for, among other things, that 5.5% salary increase for 2018 to 2021. Provide that raise. There was a 5.07% COLA this year. Use those ongoing dollars to pay for a salary increase. There is a projected 2.48% COLA for next year, which, if August and September state revenues and the governor's comments last week are an indication, may go even higher because the state is again seeing record revenues. Use increased ongoing dollars in future years to pay for a raise. Yes, you need to address the budget impacts of declining enrollment next year and afterward, but declining enrollment should result in declining employment, not depressed wages. 80 to 85% of your budget goes to paying for employees. An equal percentage of new ongoing dollars should be spent on our valuable educators. It's in the name, cost of living adjustment. The state provides increased revenue to pay for increased cost of living. Energy costs go up, transportation costs go up, salaries must go up. It is imperative that the district and the bargaining units, MEDEA, CSEA, CST, Teamsters, MUDSPA, have a shared fiscal understanding. We appreciate that you have brought school services in to look at the books, but shared fiscal understanding means that you are listening to our concerns and addressing them, and that we see that reflected, not that you keep overlooking $52 million errors or ignoring that your budget should be updated properly this year and in the multi-year. Thank you.
Thank you. Carmen, followed by Joanna.
Good afternoon, board members, Dr. Clark, and this community.
Can you tilt it down a little?
Oh,
There you go.
boy.
Thank you.
Okay, see, I'm deaf, so I can hear myself. So let me see where I was. Okay, my name is Carmen. I guess you all know I'm an administrative secretary in student services. I've been employed with Mount Diablo 24 years today. I'm also the CST unit president. The past 2 years have been very difficult for everyone. But I came back to work in person as soon as I was asked to, when PPE were not even being provided to us. But I was here because the show must go on, right? We have to serve our community. We have to serve the kids. So we were back. Yesterday, I spent $100 in gas. I was shocked. I thought there was a mistake. I even called the attendant. No, it's $100 for 2 weeks of gas. The cost of living has gone up over 10% in the last year. I haven't received a salary increase in almost 5. I can't afford to buy my hearing aids because no medical insurance covers them. And like I said the last time, they're $7,000. Maybe I should work for a temp agency. I found out that they pay more money. Last year, the fiscal department was contracting additional help from a temporary agency at a rate of $36 an hour plus agency fees. This year, the rate went up to $37 an hour plus the agency fees. Looking at the district CST salary schedule, only 2 positions in that department make about that much. After 6 years of being employed, the people that are being brought from the temp agency, they don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge of how we conduct business. So my members, they have to train them, making less money. So where's the respect? Where's the value there? The temps are making more money than the permanent employees, and then we have to train them. Where's the respect that for the work we do? We hear almost weekly how much MDUSD administration value us. Really? You value our work, our dedication, our commitment to offering, but you're offering us 0 for this year, 2% for 22-23, and nothing for 23-24 as a reopener. We know that means 0. If Mount Diablo Unified School District team is waiting for your direction, we need to have wages that we can live with, wages that would allow us to receive medical care when we need them and not to have postponed medical service because we can afford them. I stand here in unity with all the other bargaining units, MASPA, MADIA, CSEA, Teamsters. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanna, followed by Cheryl Barrett.
Good afternoon, Board. I have been praying to God, asking for strength to come before this board to speak His truth. The board members may or may not be aware, as two CST members have notified Dr. Rubio at HR, weekly COVID testing conflicts with our sincerely held beliefs. During a Zoom meeting that I thought was to discuss accommodations, I felt harassed when asked numerous times my private medical information, specifically TB testing. I explained, I asked for God's forgiveness and prayed. There was not an interactive discussion for an equitable accommodation. Later, I received a letter forcing me to choose between my job and my faith. I wrote an appeal letter asking HR to demonstrate how I may be a risk to health, safety, and security. I received an email today ignoring my request for that demonstration. I answered my vaccination status survey HR requested of all employees. My answer was yes, I'm vaccinated. I identify as fully vaccinated. I uploaded a statement instead of a vaccine card explaining this. That too was ignored. This is akin to a biologically born female identifying as male, informing staff and teachers to use pronoun he. We are required to do so. That student is not ignored and told to stay home until they agree to being called she. The principal at my site called HR last night to find out if it would be okay for me to work at home until this matter is resolved. HR answered no. I think the board should know I am being singled out and discriminated against because of my sincerely held religious beliefs. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Cheryl Barrett, followed by Jesse Austin.
Good afternoon, board members and superintendent. My name is Cheryl Barrett. I work at Mount Diablo Adult Ed. I'm a secretary there. I have not had a raise in over 5 years. Due to this is very embarrassing, but I have had to cut cable TV, internet service. I have watched the cost of gasoline rise 42%, food 10.5%. My electricity costs have gone up. My water has gone up, and my health insurance costs through the district have gone up. I feel it's very unfair that the board has not given us a raise in over 5 years. And I know that there are funds at the district available for raises. I stand in solidarity with Medea and the other unions. I request it would be a decent thing for us to have a raise across the board, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Jesse Austin, followed by Sylvia Venturino.
Good afternoon. My name is Jesse Austin. I've been employed with the Mount Diablo Unified School District for just over 5 years. I currently work in the landscape department where I am a medium equipment operator. I'm also the shop steward, and I'm also a part of the Teamsters negotiating team. We have been without a contract for going on 4 years now. And plain and simple, it is the district's responsibility to provide its employees with a fair and livable wage. You have yet to offer that to anyone representing employees who is standing up here tonight. Regardless of my tenure within this institution or the tone in which I speak, my point remains the same. We are owed a fair and livable wage, a wage the district is yet to offer its union employees. Through the diminished efforts of your own negotiating team in concert with the CBO, who has been completely unwilling to deliver on even the most basic of Teamsters requests. The district has failed at every opportunity to offer us a reasonable pay increase. This has been an unaltered narrative for over 3 years now, and it's unacceptable. During the relatively brief period I've been an employee here, I've seen the quality of this district diminish with an alarming rapidity. It doesn't exactly do much to inspire faith in what you folks can offer me and many others going forward. It becomes apparent with each passing day that the collective efforts of union employees to keep the district running are being taken advantage of while going unappreciated in a financial capacity. This type of treatment serves no other purpose than to destroy morale. And make no mistake, morale has been absolutely annihilated. To allow this current trend to continue is to do so not only at your own peril and at your employees' peril, but also at the peril of the students who call this district home. So I make a simple request on behalf of hundreds of union employees district-wide. Give us what we are owed, a fair and livable wage, at least somewhat comparable to that of our neighboring school districts. Thank you.
Sylvia Venturino, followed by Mark Jones.
Hello. The first time I stood up here in August, I asked the district to please stop with the union busting tactics. Please stop that in negotiations. I wish I could stand here and say, hey, look how far we've come, but we haven't come far at all. We have come far. We have come together and we are all together here. We have no desire to be pitted against one another. We're all here to serve the students. As I mentioned in August, we expect the district to come to the table and negotiate according to fair labor practices. Things have gotten teeny bit better, but still it's union busting. We can't give you this because that union wants that. If we give you this, then somebody else is going to take it. Please stop pitting us against one another. We do not want to fight. We are all here for the students and the families of the district. Please compensate us fairly. Please join us in serving our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Jones.
Hello, board members, Dr. Clark. Did not prepare anything tonight because you've heard it all. And quite frankly, I hope you get the message though, because this is what it is. 2 weeks ago, we all showed up here in solidarity. That is not by accident. This, if you had been paying attention, if you had your finger on the pulse, you could have seen this growing and growing and growing throughout. Because about a year and a half ago, Teamsters didn't really come to the board meetings to speak out against these things. We chose to sort of pick our battles, so to speak. But look what's happened here tonight. Look at everybody around us. We are in solidarity. This, what we're saying is correct, is that it's a symbiotic relationship that ultimately serves the student. You need every single one of the members of everybody here. You need them here, and you not only that, but you need to pay. You need to pay them to be here. Most of my people that I represent are not able to even afford. They can't afford to live in the area without a second or third job, without extra income. There's nobody. There's no way. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. And when we're running into a 0%, that's what we were running into from November up until September of this year. And it's quite frankly not much better. We need to account for all the years from 2017 on. It needs to be there. The money is there. We hope that you're getting good advice. We hope that you hear the cries of necessity. It's not, this isn't begging. This is necessity. This is what needs to happen for you to have an employment that is here to serve the students. That's bottom lining it. And I just want to thank you for your time tonight. Thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone. All right, so with that, we'll move into closed session. Our agenda is 3.1 negotiations. The board may discuss negotiations or provide direction to its representatives regarding represented employees pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. 3.2 is discipline, dismissal, release, or reassignment of public employee, Government Code Section 54957B1. 3.3 is admission of student number B22 to the Mount Diablo Unified School District. And with that, we will adjourn to closed session and we will reconvene open session at 6 p.m.